Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Bootcast podcast. As usual, I'm your host Justin. This is my co-host Colby. Colby, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Feeling way better than the last podcast.
That's
It's
good. You
been,
look better. You
dude,
look.
I feel
I
better,
think I've seen you smile. I think
bro.
that you're actually here. You're engaged.
Dude, it was like nonstop packets of like that emergency freaking bone
Oh yeah.
broth. Yeah, some garlic. I don't know. Just yeah. That's the secret.
Hey, man, it was the flu game. It's over. It's done with. We made it through. Some of the people have already commented. I saw the comments today. They were speaking positively. So you made
Oh,
it.
that's
You
good.
grind it. You grind it through it.
Yeah.
How was your week, man? How's your week going?
It's good, bro. It's good. I got to finally break in these a little bit.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. I
Okay.
really like these, dude.
Okay,
I
let's
really
just
like
let's
these.
hit the ground running. Tell me about them. I want to hear about these.
I mean, it's kind of like how I like my initial first impressions. It's just a very good fitting boot.
Okay.
I like that they've gone with the one piece upper here. I'm a
Really?
fan of that. Yeah, dude. I just like it just works. It's so simple, and so
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes you just don't need to overcomplicate things. But they're super comfy. They're just the way my foot shape is. I thought that like the little toe box here would be too narrow, and it's fine.
Mhm.
I actually like it. It actually feels more secure. Um, so yeah, I've been getting a few sessions in these, which has been very, very nice.
Okay,
Um,
so I'm gonna ask you a question just right off the bat. You had the FGs in the Vortex pack. You've gone with the
mhm.
AGs in the Mad Ready pack. Yeah,
Yeah, Mad Ready.
pack.
Yeah, well, nice.
Oh, what are you leaning either way? Can you really tell a difference? Do you care?
I can't tell a difference. I felt like I don't want to say this feels more solid, but it feels stiffer than I thought it would. Like I thought it was gonna be more flexible, but I mean
Okay.
it's only been like what like a session, like one session. So I mean I'm assuming it'll get a little bit more flexible, but it felt like the like this actually feels a little bit more stable than or more I guess like less flexible than the other.
More firm.
Yeah, more firm. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel between the Vortex pack with the FG? Do you feel like you're like, oh wow, my I really can feel a difference underfoot, or is it just kind of like to me? I have a really hard time feeling the difference between different sole
Yeah,
plates when it comes to bite
it
and
did
stuff
feel
like
it felt
that.
different. It felt like not that there was more pressure at the toe in the toe
Hmm.
area, but it just felt different. Like it felt like
Okay.
a different feeling when you would push off and move. Like I will give Nike that. Like it is a different type of feeling underfoot. I prefer conical just because that's what I've always really known. So if you give me like a conical pattern, I'll wear that. But I wouldn't mind it if the FG was my only option.
Hmm.
I would have gone with that.
Okay. So you're fine either way, really.
I'm fine. Yeah, either way. Yeah, this was just
Okay,
my
cool.
opportunity to try these.
Okay, and now I see you also have another new boot up in the corner.
Yes, yes. I want to thank Julio, Boot Maniac, who accepted a trade for me. I traded in my Copa Pure 2s for these future Ultimates. So
Nice.
thank you, my friend. I can't wait to try. I tried these on. They actually fit perfectly. They're a 9, so they're actually a half size down from what I normally wear, but they're still like a perfect fit. So
Awesome.
Julio, appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
Shout out to Julio, man. All right, dude. So let's get into some news today. So I was texting you earlier. I went to the usual soccer shop today. I had a nice little lunch break, and I sent you those unreleased. I call them the yin and yang packs of those New
Yeah,
Balance Furons and Tequilas. It's the all white with the black in,
black in.
and then the
Yep.
all black with the white in. Now
Yeah.
I personally love when New Balance does those because that's what they did like with their teaser boots when they first came out on the market. What do you think? Like, do you feel a
I
certain
love it.
way?
I love it. I saw the Tim Kayla pics a while ago, and well, not a while ago, maybe like earlier this week, and they are slick, dude. They look really good. You know me, I love white bases.
Mm-hmm.
So and then just like to have like the like black in, just very simple, very clean. I really like that colorway.
Yeah, it looked really nice, and I think that the white base made the Furon look a lot sleeker as well as the Tequila. They only had the laceless. They didn't have the lace Tequila. They only had the laceless.
Hmm.
But for the Furon especially, it looked real sleek, like
Hmm.
real. And then on the black pack, the black bear definitely looked sleeker on the Furon, but on the Tequila, I don't know what it is, but it looked fat. It looked like a big, thick,
Yeah.
fat boot.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see when everybody comes out with them. But I mean, I would ask you, but I know you're just gonna pick the white pair.
Yeah, of course. You are becoming like the, I don't know, footy headlines like discoverer of unreleased boots. I don't know how you're doing it, but
Dude, I don't know how I'm doing it. I think I'm just honestly getting lucky. And I have like an obsession, so I go to the same stores all the time. So, and I like to look at all the boots. So I think I'm just getting lucky right now, especially with all the releases. But
yeah,
I think it's interesting that Adidas is kind of, I told you before, they release a colorway and then they do the all white, all black. And then now it seems like New Balance is kind of starting to do that too, where they release those blue pair and then the all white and the all black.
Yeah, that is interesting that they're doing it that way. With the little, like, whenever I actually saw the New Balance and it was a white base, black, I actually kind of thought of these. It's like, that's brands. They kind of do that though, don't they? Where they all kind of release like a powder pink or like a blue or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just like any other fashion company. They have these people that are way above our pay grades that figure out what color is going to be in at what season, and a lot of times too, I think that boot brands will personally push those kind of things.
Yeah.
And so it kind of sticks in our brain, like winter, you think of snow, hence a white boot. But I mean, that's just me. But yeah, they were sharp looking boots for sure.
Yeah, and I like the aesthetic because there's two ends now, right? There's one on the medial side and the one on the outside, lateral side.
So on the Tequila, yes. On the Furon, there's one in on the outside, and then there's one like the NB logo towards the heel. So kind of like the Tequila used to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, just slight tweaks, but overall, yeah, they look really sharp.
Yeah. Something else you showed me today was a Furon turf that looks pretty high quality.
Yeah. As far as I could tell, I didn't get to try them on. I didn't have that much time, but from as far as I could tell, 1-to-1 upper with the V7 it's the V7 Plus Pro model. It was the blue pack. Yeah, it looked almost identical. So turf bottom, we've talked about this before. Turf bottoms are just turf bottoms. They're all kind of the same. Yeah. But as far as I could tell, yeah, that might be another turf boot that you might end up looking at because they definitely looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. We had that whole conversation about like the dip in quality of turf boots, and all of a sudden we're finding like some decent turf quality boots. So.
But again, notice that it's not Nike. I didn't say Nike. I went at the store today. The GX2 that you have in hand, they had the pro model as the turf. They had it there. And Julio had mentioned to me before that he was like, it kind of just feels like a GT, with a new name.
Yeah.
And so when I was there, I looked at it, felt it in hand. I don't think I have my. Oh yeah, I do. Hold on. So basically, like the main difference was instead of grip knit, it says fly knit. It has ACC right here, and it has the ACC logo. And then like the raised ridges, they're more like how the GT lines were. So you can feel like, but it's not as much.
Right.
So it's a way more toned down boot. But I mean, honestly, it felt like you were just getting a GT3 as a turf boot. So
yeah. Do you think it was worth the $140? Because I think that's about the same price as the Furon, and that's a 1-to-1 upper.
I think that bang for your buck, it's not bad, but I would personally probably take the Furon over it.
Okay. I'll be trying that then.
Overall, in terms of quality and everything like that. Like, I don't think that it was bad, but I'd rather get a even higher quality boot for
same.
roughly the same amount of money.
Yeah, same. Okay,
so today we're going to do something a little different. So we've talked about some of our Franken boots. We've talked about classic boots of the past. We've gone back and forth. But today, I kind of wanted us to look at the main lines of most of the brands. And then I want to talk about who our favorite players were that have worn each line. Like kind of like a silo, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Before we start that, though, I need to know your favorite number 9 of all time.
Oh, gosh, dude. It's not like I didn't have time to prepare for this, but there's only one answer for me. And
there's only one answer for anyone.
But this is. I'll cut this down
I already
a
know
little
who
bit.
you're gonna say, so just say him.
Oh,
He had a
gosh.
great 18 months at your club. He's one of your favorite players. He's one of my favorite players. He has great hair.
Torres.
Yes, Nando, the El Nino.
Yes, El Nino, dude.
I love Fernando Torres. He's probably one of the few Liverpool players I love. I love watching that guy play.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's so iconic, and I know that like there is an argument to say that his form only lasted 18 months, and there was some injury in there, but that guy just was incredible. Like the goals, like if you go to YouTube and you see like some of the goals he scored, just would be like just the most quality goals you could see from any striker like today from any club. Like there's one where he literally like turns and shoots and it goes all the way around and then like the back of the side netting. I wish I could remember what club that was, but it's just phenomenal. Some of the goals he was able to score.
Yeah, I mean, I love El Nino. I know that his time at Chelsea is not as much appreciated, and I even love his second stint at Atletico. But he's like to me like the prime example of like a true. His form was completely dependent on his confidence in himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like early Liverpool, like late Atletico, early Liverpool, Spain, like '08 era. Crushing it, like absolutely dominating everything. And then when that move to Chelsea happened, his form just started to go down, and then he wasn't playing as much because of Drogba, and his form just kept going down. And then eventually, he had his revision. He got brought back at his second stint at Atletico, but he just like Diego Simeone just hates him because Diego Simeone is such an egomaniac.
Yeah, right.
That he just couldn't deal with it. But I love Fernando Torres.
Yeah,
so good. The correct answer was R9. The original Ronaldo.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that was the correct answer.
I mean, that's a good answer. That's probably a more long lasting answer. But he's known for his World Cup win, right? As well as like his time at Madrid
player, and Inter Milan.
Right.
Those are and his one season at Barcelona, where he scored, I think, a goal a game.
Jesus.
Something like that was his average, but. Yeah, dude. R9, insane. Like, to me, like, as much as people go back and forth on the GOAT debate between Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, like, for me personally, like, R9 is the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me. Like, I think he takes, like, I think if you took all the best parts of Messi and all the best parts of Cristiano and put them together, you'd have R9.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Yeah. But, like, unfortunately, we all know Brazilians don't tend to take care of themselves. I've heard that's a big complaint, especially back then with like Roberto Carlos and Ronaldinho. And they like to party a lot. I've heard that. And he had bad knees and his legs just gave out on him. But to me, El Fenomeno, cream, like pinnacle player.
Yeah.
So
great answer.
But the worst haircuts in the world. I will say that. Fernando Torres had some of the best hair. R9 some of the worst hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this. So we're gonna start out. Let's start out with Nike, okay? And we're gonna start out with arguably one of the two most like iconic silos, the Mercurial. Who is your favorite player that wore Mercurials?
Ronaldo, dude. Cristiano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right answer, man. I mean, he's literally R9 created the Mercurial, but Cristiano is the one who's like taking it to another level.
He's still going. He's still going. Still selling boots.
Speaking of, did you see that Al Nassr totally crushed Inter Miami?
Yeah, and Ronaldo didn't even play, did he?
And neither did Messi. And yeah, they're both injured.
Yeah,
but
bummer.
I mean, 6-0. And Laporte had that crazy, like 60-yard goal from the other side of midfield. It was insane. Yeah. Okay, but I mean, I think the Mercurial, Ronaldo, I think those kind of speak for themselves. I don't really think we have to go too much into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next line, T90. Any T90, I didn't say laser. I just said T90.
Look, I don't want to give this answer again, but I'm going to give this answer again. Fernando Torres, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that was like that was like the coolest player to wear those boots at the time. I mean, Rooney was cool too. But Fernando Torres, like you said, he's just iconic, and he was fast, and he had the hair and just his finishes and like everything, dude. Like awesome.
I'm right there with you. Like I thought about even some of the older T90s, and I thought of like Scholes. But the two players I picked were Torres and Rooney. You know, the T90 Laser 4 in that Euro Clash colorway where it's like the green heel and the white.
Yeah.
That's the first boot that I ever saw that like really drove me to want to start collecting everything. It's one of my grail pairs. Like I don't have it yet, but I love that colorway. And I specifically remember Torres wearing that colorway like way longer than he was supposed to. So like, yeah, Torres, Rooney, faces of the T90, definitely my favorite players that have ever worn those. Okay,
Excellent.
so let's go to the next one. Now I've got the Phantom. Now,
Okay.
I have the Hyper Venom as a separate one because I don't think that those are kind of the same. I know that they're kind of like, it's like the T90 and Hyper Venom are all the same, the DNA, but just the Phantom. So we're going to go from what? Venom, Vision 2, GTs.
Okay.
Like when you think of a Phantom line, who do you think of?
I think of Kevin De Bruyne, actually.
Oh, that's a good shout.
He made it through all those. Like he was kind of the guy that when they started that I don't know, when they kind of started the fan, he's kind of made it through everything. He even wore the Luna for a bit, and now he's back in the let's say the GX1 or the GX2s. I can't.
I think he's in the GX2.
Okay.
For me personally, I went with Mount. I always remember when Mason
interesting.
Mount was wearing the GT1s and the silver Scorpions especially. And then
Yes,
you know, when everybody at United when he was playing, everybody was wearing the red and black ones. Mason Mount was wearing the women's orange ones. So just personally, whenever I think of the Phantom line, I think of Mason Mount.
Yeah, is he coming back? I mean, is he coming back this season?
We thought he was going to be here for Wolves, but then Eric Ten Hag, I think, said he won't be there this weekend either. So who knows, bro?
All right. I mean, we'll see. And
he had a calf injury, but he's probably going to be out the whole. He's going to be just injury prone. I already feel it. So
yeah, he wasn't even that injury prone at Chelsea. He's still young too, relatively. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So who knows? But I hope for Mason. I like Mount. So he's one of the few Chelsea players I really did like.
Same.
Okay, and let's keep going. Let's go Hyper Venom. When you hear the term Hyper Venom, like who comes to your mind?
So you would think Neymar, but for me, it's Daniel Sturridge, dude. Just tremendous form. 13-14 season, we almost won the league.
Yeah.
Literally, Suarez and Sturridge, bro. And then you could throw Raheem Sterling in there too, but that was a phenomenal season between those two. And that was honestly a period of time where Daniel Sturridge was probably the most healthy out of his career. It's probably the most games he's played. So, I mean, that was just those two were both on fire, and it was kind of it was the start of something big.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were insane. When I think of Hyper Venom, I think of our good friend Noah Kavanaugh.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. I love Noah, but I try to think of like the Prem players and La Liga players. So I actually went with Rashford. Rashford used to wear Hyper Venom Phantom 3s, especially before that line was discontinued and he went to the Mercs.
Right.
So yeah, when I think of I tend to think of the Hyper Venom Phantom 3, probably honestly because of Noah. That's the one that kind of comes to my mind the most. But yeah, I think of Marcus Rashford early Manchester United pro team days. So
yeah. Good job.
Okay, last one of Nike. We have the Tiempo. So we have 10 generations. We have a lot of names.
So earlier you said there's only one right answer for the number 9. There's only one right answer to the most iconic person to wear the Tiempo.
And I did not pick them.
Ronaldinho, dude.
Dude, I
Ronaldinho.
knew it. The Golden Touch.
The Golden Touch, the most iconic like Tiempo wearing Brazilian just freaking flair like happiest human.
Dude,
he had everything.
The vibes.
He had everything. Yeah, he was literally so big in like 05 to 07, and like you said, like the Brazilians, they like to party, their careers, but that time period was just phenomenal, and what he could do with the ball and the no look passes, and just like it was incredible what he could do.
Yeah,
and everybody I knew wanted to have those boots so that they could play like Ronaldinho.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he's the first player. Technical difficulties. I think he's the first player that a lot of people try to mimic their game after. I think a lot of people wanted to be techers and carry the ball and do all this crazy moves like Ronaldinho did. None of us could. I don't think anybody will ever have. Maybe I would say that like on a technical ability, I do think, even though I I think he's overrated. I think Phil Foden is pretty high up there.
Yes.
Like with how he carries the ball.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, I do think Philly's a good one, but I mean,
there's nothing like that touch.
Level. No. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Ronaldinho was insane. He's still insane.
Yeah, even Neymar, dude. Like I don't like. There's nobody that really mimics that technicality. Like you said, like it's just different. Because with Foden, like you can tell that there's effort to it, and with Ronaldinho, it was almost effortless. It was just a part of his body, his nature. It was just it just happened.
Yeah, he was insane. I mean, and just like I think he's still to this day one of the only players for Barcelona that's ever gotten a standing ovation at the Bernabeu at Madrid. And that I've seen that run. That he's insane. Okay, for me personally, this is just more of a personal pick because of this player. That's how I found United. But with the Tiempo, I went with Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Oh, interesting.
Like one of my favorite strikers of all time, arguably one of the best foxes in the boxes, like ultimate poachers, maybe before Holland. But yeah, I love Ruud. And when I think of it, of a black Tiempo with a white Nike swoosh, I think of Ruud. So that was my pick.
Yeah, good shot.
A little out of left field. Okay, let's keep going. Let's move on to Adidas.
All right.
Who do you have for the F50?
Kareem the Dream.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Benzema,
dude. Benzema.
Big Dick Benz. Yeah, I have Benzema. I also have Bale because those two.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Like that was like peak BBC, and I always remember that on that 2015 F50 Addy Zero. My favorite one is it's the black pair with the green accents that Benzema had, and then I remember Bale had the reverse. His were green with the black accents, and so like whenever I think of those two, when I think of the F50, that's the two that always come to my brain.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, serial winners, like both have insane goals, both have played literally at arguably one of the best clubs in the world. So, I mean, I think they kind of speak for themselves. I don't think we have to talk too much about either one of them.
Right.
Okay, who do you have for the Adidas X line that took over for the F50s?
All right, I'm not trying to make this a Liverpool podcast, but Mo Salah, dude. Like, just phenomenal player, man. No, you don't... Come on, dude.
You got to think outside of the box.
Okay. Let's go X line. See, with the X line, that's kind of something that Gareth Bale shifted into as well, right? So
yeah, he was big on the X-line teams.
I probably would have gone with Bale there as well.
That's a good choice. So, I went with Suarez.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I went with Barcelona Suarez.
Pre-Puma. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this might have been treble season. No, that was 2013. I just remember Suarez wearing those yellow, like the launch color X's, and so when I think of that when I think of the X, that's the one I think of, and I think of Suarez.
Yeah, that's probably he was in Adidas when he was arguably in his best form. Like Puma's kind of came later, but like him in the F50s and the X's was definitely like peak Suarez. So that's a really good pick.
Yeah, thanks, man. Okay, let's move on to our friend James's the Nemesis.
The Nemesis.
Who'd you go with?
Firmino, dude.
Dude, me too.
Oh, seriously?
I went Bobby Firmino.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Thank you. Yes, dude.
He's one of the few guys.
Yes. Yeah. He actually went through a lot of different Adidas boots, but those are the ones I remember him most in. Because he was an Ace guy, he was a Nemesis guy, and then I want to say in his last season with us, even though the Speed Portals were out, he was wearing the Speed Flows the whole season. So, but yeah, the Nemesis with him is like iconic, dude.
Yeah, and I always remember too. He was one of the few Nemesis wearers that wore the laceless one, the Plus model. He didn't wear the low. Like,
right.
I know Luke Shaw was really big on the low cuts and stuff. I think Dan James. No, I don't know what Dan James wore, but I know a lot of the players who wore the Nemesis like the low cut. But yeah, I always remember Bobby having those high cut Nemesis 19 and the pluses,
they look good on him. Yeah, I remember that, dude. So that's funny because I thought you were gonna grill me for making another Liverpool pick.
No. I don't mind if you pick a Liverpool player. Like, I have a good amount of United players, but you have to like think somewhat outside of Liverpool.
Yeah. You're right.
Even your choice today, dude, number 9, and you didn't go with R9?
Dude, Torres.
Okay, let's keep going before I get mad again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with the Predator. When you think of an Adidas Predator, I swear to God, if you say somebody like Stevie G, I'm gonna punch you.
David Beckham, dude. I mean,
Okay,
come
that's
on.
perfect. Yes, of course.
That's the one right answer.
I did pick Bex. My other alternate one, who is one of my personal favorite players, Berbatov.
Oh yes, dude.
Dude,
Hit
Timotar
Berbatov
Yeah, dude.
at United.
One of
He
the
was
most
almost
effortless players.
Yes, yes. He was incredible.
Yeah,
Was his...
I actually like him better at Tottenham than I did United.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Fergie honestly used him right.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I love Berbatov. Like that,
Yeah,
the first touch. Woo!
I'm trying to remember. Was he partnered with Rooney? I remember him being like top scorer like one season, but then Fergie didn't even like use him or really like him. It wasn't anything high. It was like in the 20s. Like he'd scored like 27 goals in the season. But
And I think he was one of the first players to score a hat trick at Anfield for Manchester United.
No.
Yeah, he did that like later towards the end. But yeah, I mean, he came at the time when like Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney were like really exploding. And so I think everybody remembers them. But yeah, I mean,
yes, dude, Tevez. I
love Berba.
That's a good shout too.
So
yep.
So yeah, so that Beckham obviously, again, Beckham with the Predator is like Cristiano with the Mercurial. Like, do we really need to say anything?
Right.
So let's keep trudging along. Okay, we're gonna go to the Predator's terrible little brother, the Ace. When you hear an Adidas Ace, who comes to mind?
I went with Pogba, man. Because that's
same.
One of the players. Yes, on the same wavelength, man.
The Pog boom, baby. Yeah, I definitely like his Ace colorways that he had for a little bit too, and the whole laceless thing. You know, he really made the laceless thing his own. Who else were some pretty big Ace wears?
I think what's his name?
Ozil.
Ozil wore him at Arsenal. Yeah, during his time there.
That's pretty much all I remember.
I will say, not to bring him up again, but Firmino did. He had the Ace. I think the Ace was Ace before the Nemesis. I think he had the Ace. Yeah. Nemesis, and then he went. Well, he was going
because the Ace ended at 17, and the Nemesis started in 17.
Okay, so it might have been like transition from one to the other, and then he finally ended up with some X's. So
yeah, no, good shout. Okay, now this is like the weird, out of left field boot for Adidas, but it was the Nitro Charge line. It only had like 2 generations, but
see, I didn't even know. No, I'm gonna let you take that one because like I can't even remember anybody wearing that boot.
So I only remember one person wearing it, and it was for a very small stint, and it was Steven Gerrard.
Oh right,
he wore the. I want to say I remember him wearing the blue pair. I think when the Ace, when he was wearing, I'm sorry, the Nitro Charge, I think that's when the slip happened.
Oh. So that was 2014. That was like, around then.
I want to say that's when the Nitro Charge. So maybe that's why you blocked it out of your brain.
Yeah, that's sucks. Why would you bring that? That was like the worst moment of all time. Why would you bring that up?
Oh yeah. Hey man, we lost that. What is it? 93-20. We lost the title to City on goal differential. So. But yeah, Nitro Charge, it's a super weird boot. We didn't really talk about the Ace, but that's okay. But the Nitro Charge it's one of those boots where you find them in the wild here and there, and I don't think anybody really knows what to price them or to do with them just because it's such a weird boot. Like it has so many different technologies and so many different materials kind of all meeting that it's just a very awkward feeling boot on foot.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, and I'm going to blame that on the reason that we slipped and lost the title. So
yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. The 11 Pro, I think there's one right answer.
Tony Cruz.
He's
still wearing them.
Our good friend Charles Halt, he's wearing them too, over at Halt's Boots. Yeah. He loves him some 11 Pros. Great leather boot. Unfortunately, it was just kind of out at the same time that the Tiempo was probably in some of its peak editions and series. But yeah, overall, I like the 11 Pro 3. I think the Tony Cruz boot is kind of overrated as a whole.
Yeah, the remake is definitely overrated. I know that.
Cool. It's a collector's item. It's one of those kind of things to me.
Yeah.
We talked about it before. Some boots are made to play in. Some boots are made to look at. That's definitely a boot that's made to look at. And that's it. Okay. Its older brother, the Addy Pure.
I went with Frank Lampard.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah. He was kind of. I think he wore 11 Pros as well.
He
But
might
I
have.
remember watching him in Chelsea, and they just looked clean, dude. Like Addy
Mm-hmm.
Pierce, 11 Pros, they just look. It's very simple. It's very clean, especially like the white. I think there's like I think it's like white, black, and blue, or just white, blue. It just looks
Yeah,
like
they have a lot of
so
white
nice.
based boots on that one.
Yeah.
I went with Kaka, so I went with
Oh, that's a
another
good
guy
shout
that
as well.
was in Preds that switched over to the 11 or the Addy Piers. Just when I think of that boot, again, that's just a player that comes like instantly to my brain. And both of those guys, phenomenal players, phenomenal number 10s, like just insane.
Yeah.
And then to finish off Adidas, we have the Copa line. So
Okay.
out of anybody who wears the Copa,
So I went with Declan Rice, and
Oh.
I'm trying to remember. So he's like kind of the poster boy for the Copas right now, and I want to say he was one of those guys that really didn't want to give up the Copa 19 and 20 because of that burrito style tongue, which I don't know why. Like I hate the burrito tongues. I think
Messi's
it
the same way. Messi likes that burrito tongue.
and I don't get it because I feel like when you have a burrito tongue, it doesn't really give you like enough ankle support. Because it almost gives you that little, or for me, maybe players' versions are different, but it gives you like almost too much bulge at the ankle, or it doesn't secure your ankle enough. So I feel like everything securing my foot is at the midfoot and the forefoot, and my ankle is just left to its own devices. So I think Declan Rice, and I might have seen this on Substance Football. I'll give him a shout. I think he might be wearing a modified version, or he was wearing a modified version of the Copa Pure ones, where they were actually in a burrito tongue. I'm not sure if he switched over because they did a knit with the laces now. So maybe on the Copa Pure 2s, he's actually wearing the proper version. But I think it was hard for him to get out of the Copa Pure. Sorry, not Copa Pure. Copa 20s.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say from what I heard too, I heard rumors that he was wearing camouflage 19s and 20s to look like the pure pure 0.1 and then now the pure 2.1, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, no, that's a great shout. I mean, Tex is a great player. I think that he's definitely gonna be like their guy for the Copa line. For me, I went Dybala. I really like Dybala. Yeah. I almost went with João Felix because João Felix used to wear the especially the Copa Sense before he ended up switching to the Speed Flows. Yeah. But Dybala is just like a laceless guy.
That's what I was going to mention. Is he's like one of the few guys that would wear that boot laceless, and I think João Felix wore them laceless as well, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, João Felix is a big laceless guy.
Yeah, he wears laceless. Well, he was wearing laceless Speed Portal, so I'm assuming he's wearing like laceless Crazy Fast, but who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, I like Declan Rice. I think is a great shout. Like I said, Dybala, just Copa. That's who I thought of. And I remember when that Prada collaboration came out, and he was wearing those weird silver ones with that
weird like long tongue.
Yeah,
get that out of here, dude.
Like the old school F50s.
It was like $500 for this like grotesque gaudy boot. Like get out.
So dumb.
Want that?
Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna go on to Puma. When you hear the term Puma Future, who comes to your mind?
Okay, this is a like roundabout answer, and so I'm glad you brought up Luis Suarez earlier for the X's, because I was gonna go with Luis Suarez for the futures actually, because he was kind of like when he switched from Adidas to Puma, and this was like his boot, right? So right, like everybody wants to say, or not everybody, I don't know what people would say, but if you said someone like Neymar, well, the person who had made that switch like years before was Luis Suarez. So like I remember him. I remember like Adam Alana, like a few other guys were kind of repping the futures before they became like the Future Z, like the modernized version we have now. Yeah.
Oh, nice shout. No, I actually went with somebody who just recently switched to Puma. I went with Jack Grealish.
That's a good one too.
Like I absolutely love Jack. I think I love his off the field antics as well. But Puma poached him away from Nike, and I just enjoy Jack. Like he's one of those players, even though he plays for Man City. I absolutely
he's fun. He's fun. He's fun to watch. His interviews, dude, and he that guy knows how to party. So
dude,
he
can teach all of us how to party.
Yeah.
Okay, with their other current line, I also put the Ultra. Who did you have down for the Puma Ultra?
I actually put down. You know who I put down? It's not even an attacking player. It's Kyle Walker.
Dude, same.
Yes, yes.
I thought about what's his name, Pulisic, but I was like, nah,
Same.
nah.
Yeah. Why is it? Why do our brains go to Kyle Walker when we think of the Ultra?
Okay, so we talked about this when we talked about boots by position, but the Puma Ultra is supposed to be a speed boot, and when I think of someone freakishly fast that wears Pumas, I think of Kyle Walker.
Right. Yeah.
Like somebody who has no business being that fast
right.
is that fast. And
I mean-
so yeah, that's my brain always goes there.
It was that guy's job during the England-France game to hold Mbappe, and like he did a pretty dang good job. Like
Crushed
he's
it.
just amazing. Yeah, that's who comes to my brain with those boots, and that's like honestly like who I would want. It's a right back, but that's who I would want to implement. Like if I had those boots on, that's who I'm thinking of.
For sure. You know, it's also weird too that the other two players that I think of when I think of the Ultra, just like right off my mind, are two defenders. I think of Varane and Harry Maguire.
Oh yeah.
They both wear Puma Ultra Ultimates.
That's kind of weird. Yeah,
So
yeah,
weird.
Not the traditional defender's boot. Those things are thin too, so that would hurt. But yeah.
So that's who I think of.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the Puma King. When you think of the Puma King, who comes to mind?
You're not gonna like my answer.
Are you gonna say like Granit Xhaka or Zinchenko?
No.
Okay, who'd you pick?
I want to roundabout with this. I said Neymar, right? And I know it was for 5 minutes. Look, I told you. I knew you weren't gonna like it. I know it was for 5 minutes, dude. But the hype around that is so big, and that picture of him kissing the Puma King Platinum.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my theory, right? Okay, let's say like Neymar makes a switch from Nike to Puma, right? And they wanted to get him in the Puma Future Z because it was like camouflaged, it had like the little white strap. We're like, what is this boot? So everybody kind of knew that he wasn't gonna stay in the King. But had they not had the Puma King Platinum out for like a year before he switched, and that was going to become a new boot coming out, and Neymar does go to Puma and picks the Platinum to stay in, I think the hype for that boot actually goes up, and it does that boot a huge service because
Absolutely.
like that special black and white edition where you had like all the ends on the Puma like logo.
I think it's like the stripe or whatever.
Right.
The form
yeah,
stripe.
Yeah, the form stripe. Yeah, it actually I want to say those boots sold. Those were out to market, right?
I think that specific one was only for him, and then I think that the ones for him were just black with a white stripe, and then I think the ones that they sold were the black with the NJ logo.
Okay.
And they only sold like I think it was like 100 worldwide.
Oh, really? That's all they sold? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I thought it was more
It could
than
be
that.
more, but I remember it was like a very limited pair.
Okay. Oh, you mean like that's all they released?
Yes.
Of
for
what
the
those
public.
were. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say.
No, it's not like they got discounted. Like that's all they made.
Right. But I feel like if he had just stayed in those, he probably would have taken that specific silo like to another level. Like, and if you're Puma, you probably could use Neymar in a boot like that. Keep him traditional, keep him K leather, keep the Pele narrative going, because that's kind of what they were. Oh, like Pele wore these, and now Neymar's wearing these, and it's like almost like the Brazilian heritage is going to him. So I wish they hadn't. I wish he had stayed in those a bit longer, but I don't know. That's what my brain goes to.
No, that's a good shout. I thought about Pele too. I did not think about Neymar just because again he only wore him for like a picture.
Right.
I also almost put Maradona actually. Because I always think of that freaking the hand of God and then the greatest goal ever, that game he has at Puma Kings. But I just went with somebody who I never watched them personally. I've seen like highlights and everything like that just because of when they were alive and when they were playing. But I put Johan Cruyff because
that's good.
the Cruyff turn, and then
Cruyff turn,
everything that he has done since he played, like with Pep and everything like that. Like everything kind of comes back to Johan Cruyff. And so I think he's kind of like this, like to me, he's like almost like the father of modern football.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I think of the Puma King, I went super old school. I didn't go modern at all.
I mean, that's kind of what it's known for. That's what it's known for. I mean, no like real modern superstars wear the Puma King. So
no,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Neymar could have taken it.
I don't know anybody else that wears the King.
Zinchenko wore it before he just recently switched to Skechers. I think he was wearing the Skechers Razors now, but
mental.
I know. From one bad boot too. Well,
Okay.
anyways.
Let's keep going before we bash Skechers.
Okay.
They might sponsor us one day.
They could.
Okay, we're gonna go classic Puma. Evo Power line. When you think of the Evo Power, who do you think of?
I think of two,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go with Mario Balotelli.
Great shout.
Why always me?
Oh yeah, dude.
Why always me?
Have you ever seen that boot, the newspaper boot?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to send it to you. He had like this really cool camouflage Evo Power, and it was like different headlines, and it was basically like "Why always me?" And it was just super cool looking. But
that's awesome.
When I think of the Evo Power, I actually went with somebody else who had a signature colorway, and it says Fabregas.
Okay, yeah.
I went when he had his little like tricks colorway. It was like half blue, half white, and it had the C4. You know, it was his number at Chelsea, and had all the explosion stuff with it. So yeah, when I think of that, I always like that boot, and so that's what I think of.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, Balotelli was a good shout. What about the Evo Speed?
Oh gosh.
So the pre-Ultra.
Is that one that Marco Royce? I feel like Marco Royce has been in every Puma boot, so I feel like I could just throw his name out there and
I remember
maybe
him
hit
in
the target.
The Futures. He might have worn the Evo Speed.
Well, if he did, Marco Royce.
Okay,
I went
with Griezmann.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Griezmann's kind of the when I think of a Puma Evo Speed, he was kind of the face of that boot, and he was really pushing that boot.
Yeah. Does he wear Ultra now? What does he wear now? Griezmann.
I think he does wear Ultra now.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think he's in the future.
I don't really watch Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Or France. Okay, let's keep moving on. We're gonna go with New Balance. New Balance doesn't have a huge history. It's only pretty much got 3 boots. So I know who you're gonna say for the Furon, so just rip the Band-Aid off and say his name.
No, you don't. I'm gonna go with Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
And the reason I say him over somebody like Mane or I mean Sterling was in them. He's in the Tequila now, but the young guns, man, like the New Balance is smart. They've made good silos. They've upgraded those silos to what they need them to be, and they've got like young upcoming talent in Saka, and then I'll get to another one later. But it's just like the marketing with these guys is so smart, and so the better Saka does, like the more kids are going to want New Balance, and it's just like to wrap him up is just genius.
Oh, for sure. And I absolutely love that first colorway he had, the red one. Oh, dude, that colorway in that boot looks so sick.
I like the white with the 7s on it, and then like on the bottom of the sole plate is like the big number 7. Oh, it's a good one.
So now let's go to the older brother, the Vizaro, the New Balance Vizaro. It only had 2 generations. Is there anybody that comes to mind at all when you think of that boot?
Absolutely. Manchester United legend. I'm talking like a legend, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I know who you're going to say.
One of the best players they've ever signed in the history
of
the
club.
One of the
tallest.
Yeah, one of the tallest, best hair, just like phenomenal Belgian Fellaini. Just iconic.
You know he sued New Balance over those boots? You know that, right?
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yeah, he sued them and was like basically like the boots are terrible and like they're making my feet bleed and all this stuff. Just because he wanted to leave and they wouldn't let him break his contract.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, well,
yes, I remember that. Dude. I remember that. Oh,
dude. No, I thought of I actually think of Aaron Ramsey for Arsenal because he also had his own custom pair. And I remember Josh had them, and Josh compared like Aaron Ramsey's custom ones to the retail one, and the retail one was awful, the Vizaro 2, but and how heavily customized his was, and I just think that was so cool that New Balance did like a true like, hey, this is their boot, like it was only in his size, and they've done that before. I know they've done that with Raheem Sterling's colorways on the Furon. I know with Harvey Elliott's original Furon colorway, they also did that. So I think that's a super cool little feature thing that they do.
Yeah.
And then the Tequila. It's one of our favorite boots out on the market right now.
Such a good boot, dude.
So underrated for everybody.
The colorways are so good.
So good.
So there's a couple directions I could have gone, but I actually went with Harvey Elliott, and no, it's not.
Same.
It's not because he's a Liverpool player. It's because I'm telling you, dude. New Balance is scooping up this young talent. Like this kid is gonna be huge one day. I mean, I think Saka's gonna be a lot bigger, but like I just think he'll be like a lot. they're longevity signings, right? Like they caught this kid when he was like 18. They gave him his own they gave him Furons and then they gave him his own Furon colorway. So like they're really investing in young talent, which I mean, good for them.
No, yeah, I picked him. I honestly only picked him just because I have his red boots, and I think out of all the Tequila colorways, they're arguably some of the coolest ones. Tim Weah's were also another shout.
Yeah, Tim Weah's got good colorways. They just signed what's his name? Endrick? Is that who they? What's his name? Idea. Okay, well, never mind. they gave Brazilian kid like his own gold colorway like already. So this is what I'm saying.
Have you read the story about that too? Like why his parents like kind of wanted him to pick New Balance over the other brand? I know a couple of the other brands were after him too.
Was it like a Michael Jordan situation or?
Kind of. It was just basically like New Balance was willing to give him more of what his family thought was right and like trying to give back to the community, and they were like helping build stuff and all that, which I think is super cool. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're basically just saying like, here's what we're good at. Like here's the two silos that like we have, and like how can we improve on? Like it's not like they're scrapping and restarting and failing. It's like, okay, we have something here. Like let's make improvements where we can, and then pick up younger talent so that we're not paying like these superstars tremendous amounts of money, which is I think what Puma's doing, and I hope it doesn't backfire on them. But yeah, their strategies, it's completely different. It seems to be, to me, like more humble, more focused, more, maybe more like smarter in the long run. I don't know what the term for that is, but
yeah, it's like the long game.
Yeah, they're playing the long game.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely congratulate them. And like I said, I mean, even like you said, the V7s to the V7 Pluses now, like just small tweaks, but you're like, damn, like they really did tweak that up just enough to make it like that much better.
Right, exactly. So
okay, so like for the last bit, let's round it off. Do you have any special shout outs for any of the other brands? Mizuno's, Asics, I don't know if I'm missing Pele's, Uno Zeros.
Allures. Mizuno's got Ramos right now, and they've got some pretty cool colorways for him. And Mizuno actually like at the very end of Torres's career when he was in Japan, he was repping Mizuno's, and they
gave him his first signature boot.
Yeah, he had a red color. Yeah, it was a white and red colorway, wasn't it? Something like that. That looked really cool.
They gave him one. I think Sergio Ramos has had two now. The Mizuno player I thought of was Honda. He used to wear the Wave Ignitus pair, and I always like those classic power boots with the rubber. And the Wave Ignitus took that concept to the extreme, and he was always like one of those players. Like I'd only ever see him at the World Cup stage usually, but yeah, I was thinking Honda.
What's his name? The Brazilian, is it Rivaldo?
Rivaldo?
Yes. Rivaldo has got like the white and
the
then
wave
the blue.
Cups.
Yes.
The white, blue, yellow.
Yeah, those are beautiful boots. Like if I had a chance to get a pair of those, I would. Like those are beautiful. I think that was good.
And I think they just recently kind of re-released them or did something like an homage to them not too long ago. So
they did like a little remake. Yeah, thanks, man. Sometimes on this podcast I can,
sometimes you're here and you're with it, and then other times I'm
sick and dead
shouting out Thiago or Virgil van Dijk.
the H.
Good
the H is silent. The H is silent, Justin.
God. Oh, sorry, Thiago. Sorry, he's on the bench so much I forget his name.
All right, Jesus.
We'll try. Okay, so we're gonna round off this one. So obviously Cristiano Ronaldo or David Beckham with the Predator and the Mercurials are like the most iconic.
Right.
But like if you think of, we might have to do this again, like different colorways, but I want you right now on the spot. If you think of the most iconic colorway in any of these boot silos, like to you, what's the boot that you're like, oh, either this is my favorite or I think this is the most iconic. No, don't do the most iconic. Don't do the most. I already know which one that would probably be. Your favorite boot out of any silo.
Oh,
which colorway on which boot?
You could guess it. You could tell me right now what my favorite one would be. And what do you think? What do you think it is?
What your favorite boot would be with your favorite color.
of all these? Yeah, of all these. I mentioned on the podcast before.
Have you? I don't. I'll
go again. I'm
gonna go Tiempo Legend 4 in the white and gold.
Close. Tiempo Air Legend, Ronaldinho, white,
Oh,
gold.
the OG
R,
ones.
the R on the one over fold over tongue, the 10 on the other. Just best pair of boots, like for me.
Yeah. That's a great shout. Is that would you say that's like your ultimate grail pair? Like if you only could have like one boot,
If
that's
I could
the way you
have
would hold
one,
hands?
yes, if I could have one boot to put in a glass case, it would be those.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
I think mine would be not iconic wise, but for me, arguably one of my favorites. I did say the T90 Laser 4s earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be in the glass case. If I could find like a prime and it was going to be sealed in the glass case, I would go with the Mercurial Vapor 9 Cristiano Ronaldo Galaxy pair. I just think that boot is literally so different, and the Galaxy print on it is so stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I find it anywhere, it's either like the most battered pair, or somebody wants like $1,000 for it. But yeah, that's the one that like would spin in a glass case, and like the light would shine on it.
The light
and,
would
like,
shine.
The opera would sing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's probably one of my go.
One day.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna make money, and we're gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I think that was a fun episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're gonna call it here. We're gonna end it. Tell the people where they can find you, man.
People can find me at Kicking with Colbs on YouTube and at Kicking with Colbs on Instagram. And as soon as I get all of my kids' stuff in order, I will be making videos again. So,
dude, we miss them. I miss the content. I miss the shorts.
It's tough. I'm either getting sick and dying or freaking coaching practice. So it's my life right now.
You, man. It's good. You can find me online at Instagram at Texas Cleat Collector. I'm usually in the wild looking for boots in between work. So if you want to see unreleased boots, I'm like 2-3 weeks strong.
You're having good luck right now.
I am, dude. So you can find us there. You can also find the podcast at Bootcast Pod on Instagram. I upload every day whenever the videos are going to go live and everything, so you guys can stay in tune. If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there leaving a comment, make sure you hit like, subscribe. It helps us out, and I will continue to say it every single episode. And with that, man, bid you guys good night.
All right, brother.
Later.
Thank you, guys.